Hey, welcome everyone to morning pop-up yoga, 7 a.m. to 7:45. We'll get going in about 5 minutes or a little bit less. So grabbing a water bottle, a mat, whatever feels right and good for you. And we'll get going real soon. Welcome. All right, well, let's get going. Finding the front of your mat. I'll let you bring your hands by your side and just starting to find your feet. As we gently rock from toes to heel, heel to toes, toes to heel. And then finding the center of your foot, and let's rock it side to side as we go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. One more time, to the right, to the left, and then again finding the center of your foot. From here, let's work rotation, any amount. Say 3 or 4 times one way, and then 3 or 4 times the other. And then back to center. Finding the center of your foot as we draw the energy up from the feet through the legs, through the spine, relax shoulders. A slight tuck of the chin without straining the neck. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of the thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. And just starting to find your breath, watching as it flows in and as it flows out. Arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for a morning yoga practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a full body breath, bringing the air to the base of the belly, the top of the chest, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, either keeping the belly soft and just letting the air whoosh out, or adding a constriction of the low belly in and up towards the heart as we squeeze a little more air out, also providing structural support for a low back in any of the shapes that we'll find this morning in our morning flow practice. Moving towards the Ujjayi or ocean breath, a slight constriction of the base of the throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your Ujjayi breath be a focus for your practice, always coming back to that sound and feel, often compared to the sounds of the waves of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this Ujjayi breath, I'll invite you to find Jiva Bandha, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth. Trying to keep that tongue to hard palate connection throughout the practice. Keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, I'll invite you to bring your hands by your side. Warming up our shoulders, keeping it simple, I'll invite you to inhale the arms up overhead. Exhaling, arms down. 2 more times like this, breathing it up. Exhaling it down. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it down. Adding a forward fold. Inhaling up. On the exhale, leading with your heart as you fold. Take a breath to find length as you lift chin and tail. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, righting the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, righting the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Welcome, Kathy. Why don't you grab the blue mat? Yeah, just stand on the top of that. This is Kathy. She'll join us in our third half sun cell. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, folding as we lead with the heart. Take a breath to find length. And breathing out, folding again. Inhaling, righting the breath up. Arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. So Namaskar with or without vinyasa. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And now on the exhale, grounding down through the hands as you find either your down dog and a hold, or you might choose to cycle through a push-up with or without the knees. Inhaling into your up dog or cobra. And then exhaling back to your down dog and holding. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to your hands. Lots of space between each finger. And then grounding down a little more firmly between the thumb and the forefinger as we draw the energy up from the ground. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, righting the breath up, arms overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Other choices might be finding your child's pose. You might find an all fours position. Always finding that balance between your effort and your ease. Wherever you choose to work, breathing, watching that breath, and enjoying that reflection upon your breath. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out, back to down dog as you will. Again, take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. As we hold this third down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and as your Ujjayi breath flows out. From down dog, long, smooth Ujjayi breath in. Long, smooth Ujjayi breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Our second warm-up exercise, Surya Namaskar B, it starts with a chair pose. Knees over toes, hands over head. In this one, I'll invite you to find neutral spine back of the head in line with the sacrum. On your next exhale, taking it just a little bit lower. Now on the inhale, rising on up as if you're bursting out of water, and I'll invite you to find a little half back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Keeping it super, super crisp. Nice. From here, flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart for a three-legged dog. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Now bringing that right foot on through, landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down. Hands can always find the hips. And then up and over the head for warrior one. And then on your exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. From down dog, second side, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, bringing that left foot on through. Landing it lightly, finding your balance as we inhale the arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And again, other choices might be a child's pose, an all fours position. Always balancing your sthira, your stirring it up energy, your effort, with your sukha, your sugary energy, your ease. And wherever you choose to work, coming back to an even breath and watching that breath as it flows in and as it flows out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or maybe take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding. On the inhale, back to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, and I'll invite you to find that little half back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. And then neutral spine, hands by our side. One more Surya Namaskar B, we'll add a hip opening sequence into the mix. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog, as you will. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that right hip. And then looking between the hands, sweeping that right foot on through, spinning the back heel down as we find our warrior one, arms up and over the head. In warrior one, on your next exhale, we We can spin the palms out, finding low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your flow. Nice. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands as you sweep that left foot on through. Finding your balance as you bring the arms up and over the head on the inhale. And then on that next exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or maybe choosing a child's pose instead. Whether you're in down dog or child's pose, two great places to breathe into the back as we use the work of respiration to find more freedom, more space in our spines. Whatever you choose, whatever pose you do choose, just noticing the gentle rise and fall, the movement of your body as your diaphragm domes up to the heart and then stretches back down to the navel. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay there. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Again, let's come back to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart, a light press of the thumb against the sternum as we line up each finger, relaxing those shoulders without straining the neck, a slight tuck of the chin as we start to bring our attention back inward. And that's one of the things that makes it yoga, is this internal focus. How does it feel? And then hands by our side. Let's step or maybe jump our feet hip width apart. Hands find the back of the hips, the fingers face down, and just circling our hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's take those hip circles the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's pretend we have an extra set of hands. Our real hands come to our shoulders. And a nice mudra or hand gesture is to take 4 fingers and find the tip of the thumb, and it focuses the energy of the hands. We can bring those little bird beak hands onto our shoulders. Hips stay stable as we circle our shoulders for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We can take those shoulder circle rotations the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. From here, arms in the air like you either do or don't care. We'll take our hips one way, shoulders go the other for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. And I like to say this to my students. Feel free to do the gestures and say it along with me. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels as we stand tall and breathe. And then again, I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart, either keeping a light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet, or adding an isometric engagement as we press those palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged. I'll invite you to find a little tuck of the tail as we connect with the strength in our center. And then hands by our side. Working through a standing sequence. Let's start it with our chair pose. Knees over toes, hands overhead. From here, taking it lower, more strength in your legs. Now finding the power chair, Ardha Utkatasana, parallel thighs, parallel torso. And then we'll make ourselves back to down dog. Some of y'all might want to play with a jump back. As you ground down through your palms, the hips stay high as we unfold those legs back. And then either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. And again, take your time. Find your flow. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg as we open up that hip. You want to flip the dog today, Kathy?
Sure.
And maybe flipping the dog as we tap that toe down, spinning hard up to the sky. And then reflipping the dog, right leg high. And then sweeping that right foot on through. Finding our Warrior One prep as we bring hands onto our hips. From here, let's lengthen the stance as we shift weight onto the front foot to slide that back foot back. From here, we can bring hands onto our shoulders, just relaxing our shoulders, also squaring the heart front. From here, I'll invite you to find a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then I'll invite you to find a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance, straightening that front leg without locking the knee, hands by our hips. And then finding this letter W shape. And let's do this 6 times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out, and I'll invite you to hold this shape as you take a big breath into your heart. The elbows move back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers as we keep our hands supple. From here, turning Warrior One into Warrior Two. As hands find the heart, we open up the hips. You might kick the back foot in just a tad for heel to arch alignment. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, I'll invite you to paint rainbows, straightening front leg, palm faces back, inhaling. And exhaling, Warrior Two. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Halfway done, breathing in. Breathing out, last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1, breathing in. Breathing out, finding your Warrior Two. And from here, I'll invite you to find a rainbow warrior. It has different stages. A clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades backing down onto the ribs. Either staying here, keeping that shoulder to rib connection, or challenging your balance as you find a forward fold inside the front leg. We can park the torso on top of the thigh, or let the torso hang free wherever you choose to work. I'll invite you to relax the neck and heavy the head as you draw the hands up and over the head. Mosquitoes?
Mosquito. Wow. Jesus.
There's advantages and disadvantages to practicing in a garden. The advantage is that it's beautiful and quiet and peaceful and green. The disadvantage is that there's mosquitoes.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Yoga's all about real life, and that includes bugs. Those of you that found the forward fold, I'll invite you to find a strong tuck of the chin as we bring ourselves up. Now lifting the chin tall to the crown, and you don't have to do the hand gestures with me, but ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels. From here, let's move towards our triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. We can deepen the crease in our hip as we lengthen those ribs, the I'm a little teacup transition, and then grounding bottom hand down in an appropriate place. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up past those top fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, finding your center of balance. With every breath out, sending energy out through both arms, both legs, both ends of the spine, as you make yourself bigger in space from the inside out. Challenge pose coming up, feeling free. Either hold that triangle or not, or maybe finding another shape, or maybe we move towards our half moon. Left hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. I'll suggest right hand well off to the right. So a nice wide base is going to be more stable than a narrower base. Having said that, as you get better at the shape, you could always narrow the base to challenge your balance. From our base, finding the float as we lift back leg, we can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky, with that mixture of effort and ease. Again, as we hold this shape, finding your center of balance as you breathe in, 3 fingers below the navel, and then getting bigger in space as you breathe out, as we start to connect with the very edges of the universe. Longest journey starts with a single step. From here, coming down with grace and control, 2 feet find the ground. Coming back to our warrior 2 shape, 1 long arm. And then to stretch out your shoulders, I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we find low lunge. And from low lunge back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. And coming back to an even breath before we do that second side. That's a strenuous sequence. So find that ease to your breath. And that's another aspect that makes it yoga, is that we're not push, push, push. We're push, we pull, we push. Working hard enough, but not so hard that we get exhausted or strained or anxious. Second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then flipping the dog if you choose. As you tap that toe down, spinning hard up to the sky, be mindful of your shoulder, lots of engagement. And then reflipping the dog, left leg high. And then sweeping that left foot on through as we bring hands to the hips for Warrior 1 prep. In Warrior 1 prep, I'll invite you to shift the weight onto the front foot as we go longer in our stance. Hands can find the shoulders as we relax and square the heart front. Now switching the clasp of the fingers as we walk the fingers 1 over, and then pressing the back of the head into the hands, elbows wide, open heart. You might lift the chin just a little bit, open throat, 4th and 5th chakra. And then finding a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale as we offer it out. And let's do 6 of these. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one coming up. Breathing in. Breathing out. And I'll invite you to hold this shape. The elbows move back. The hands come with. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers as we keep our hands simple. And this is a great go-to shape you can come to at any point in your day, whether you're in a yoga mat or on a yoga mat or not. From here, 1 turns into 2 as hands find the heart. We can open up the hips. We might narrow the stance just a little bit. And then finding that 1 long arm, looking out over those front fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. From here, let's paint rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway done, breathing in. Breathing out, couple more, breathing in. Breathing out, last one, breathing in. Breathing out, finding your warrior 2. And then I'll invite you to find a rainbow warrior. It has different stages. If you get bit by a bug, feel free to come out. Clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat, 4th and 5th chakra. Feeling free to hang out here or challenging your balance as you find a forward fold inside the front leg, either parking the torso on top of the thigh or letting the torso hang free wherever you choose to work. Try to relax that neck and heavy that head. One of our quarantine projects was to grow tomatoes. I don't know if you can see them behind Kathy, but you might imagine your head is a very ripe tomato and it's about to plop off the vine. One more long, smooth, slow breath here. those of you that chose the forward fold, let's just a strong tuck of the chin, try to find that sternal notch as we bring it on up, coming back to our warrior two shape. And again, we don't have to use our hands to remind us where these parts are, but we can think ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels. From here, painting rainbows, breathing in. Oh, we already did this, right? We already painted the rainbows or not? We did the rainbow warrior without painting the rainbows. So let's paint the rainbows now. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Record needle skipped a little bit here. Now we're moving towards our triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib, deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs. I'm a little teacup, short and stout. Setting that top shoulder, stretching hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. When we teach the kids, this is called the starfish pose. So just like a starfish is long through those limbs, feeling that sense of length, that sense of extension, but also very connected to that very center of the starfish. And for people, that's 3 fingers below the navel. Feeling free to hang out in your triangle or moving towards the half moon. The balance, as hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in, left hand well off to the left for a nice wide base. From that base, finding the float as you lift that back leg. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. And even here, you can envision a starfish long through the limbs, but strong and steady in your center. And always, the eye of the storm is your breath. So smooth breaths in, smooth breaths out. Coming down with grace and control as we land that back foot, coming back to our warrior two. And from warrior two, a big windmill of the arms as we find low lunge. And from low lunge back to down dog as you go. And Kathy's chosen a child's pose. Feel free to make that choice also. Great, great place to go. Sometimes in the morning, you might do somewhere between all fours in child's pose. A full child's pose can be a little overly stretchy, I find, early in the morning. So I won't take my hips all the way back to my heels, just kind of working in that halfway place. Just, again, connecting with my feeling body. How does my back feel? How do my hips feel? And whatever sensations I notice, just breathing into those sensations. Those of you in down dog, I will invite you to find a child's pose. As we ground down. In our child's pose, I'll invite you to gently wiggle your hips from side to side, stretching it out. And then coming back center, walking our hands in as we bring our feet off to one side. And I'll invite you to find Tadasana. So we've got external rotation to the hips, knees are bent, heels are out, a little bit of space between the heels. Sitting in Tadasana, let's take a twist to each side. Left hand by left hip. We can bring right hand to the top of the left thigh. Let an inhale grow your spine tall. And then finding a twist, either looking straight ahead, off to the side, or over that back shoulder with that mixture of effort and ease. Now letting an inhale bring you through center, and let's find that twist the other way. Right hand by right hip, left hand catches the top of the thigh. Let an inhale grow your spine tall, and then finding your twist, either looking straight ahead, off to the side, or over that back shoulder. Now letting your inhale bring you through center, let's take a side bend to each side. We'll ground down through left hand, right hand high. I invite you to lean onto that left sits bone as we lift right sits bone up, and then keep the right hand right where it is. As you slide that right sits bone back down, and then holding for a couple of breaths as you enjoy that nice stretch in low side waist. Breathing into those ribs, finding a little more space in that thoracic spine with a side waist focus. Now letting your inhale bring you through center. We'll ground down through right hand, left hand high. We'll lean to the right, lifting that left sits bone up. And then keep that hand where it is as you slide that sits bone back down. And then holding for 2 or 3 breaths, just enjoying that nice low sideways stretch. Again, finding more space in mid-back, thoracic spine with a sideways focus. Just breathing into those ribs. And then letting your inhale bring you through center. Let's bring hands onto our knees. Staying steady and solid in the hips. Let's work torso rotations for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's take those rotations the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. From here, let's work with our shoulders a little bit. We lean a little bit forward, and we'll roll one shoulder front and then the other. It's warming up the ancillary muscles of respiration. Diaphragm's the big one, but I believe there's 32 other ones that are involved in our breath. And then taking those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. And then back to center as we sit up tall, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. From here, let's go a little wider with our feet. And let's move towards Kurmasana, the tortoise, as we feed our arms underneath our legs, the palms face down. We can work neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum as we hinge at the hips. And depending on where your back is this morning, keeping neutral spine or letting the spine round. And make sure this feels good on your back. Relax shoulders, relax neck. You might tuck the chin ever so slightly as we draw our focus inward. And there's a mantra that goes with this shape. The mantra is this repetitive words to remind us of things. That's the fancy word. I forget the English word. But anyway, the mantra is, I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then holding for another 2 or 3 breaths. With every exhale, just letting your groin soften. With every inhale, finding a little more space in your back. In our Kurmasana or tortoise pose, also just a tuck of the chin as we unfeed the arms. One of my favorite shapes here, lots of different levels here. I'll come a little bit front. We can grab our ankles. If you have a bit more to go, peace sign fingers can catch the big toes. We start to lift the feet as we balance on our tailbone. From here, any amount, maybe we straighten our legs for a big letter V in the air. As we hold the shape, just letting your thighs widen as you push through the heels, shoulder blades back and down. Deep, full breaths. I know, it's beautiful. We're watching the shadow of a hummingbird here. It's so pretty. From here, I'll invite you to find a butterfly in the air. So, a little different than Tadasana. The soles of the feet connect. The feet are in. We're still having internal, external rotation of the hips. From here, we can find our ankles with our hands, or maybe the thumbs catch the insoles of the feet. We can open our feet up as if we're opening up a book. We can square our heart to face that open book, then hinging at the hips as we fold, either keeping neutral spine or letting the spine round as we breathe into our back. And we can Repeat that same mantra. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then again, holding for another couple of breaths. With every exhale, just letting your groin soften. With every inhale, finding a little more space in your back. From here, a tuck of the chin. As we bring it on up, I'll invite you to take your hands to your outer thighs and then closing the knees, keeping your inner thighs soft. From here, 2 long legs on the ground. Hands by our hips. I'll invite you to give your legs a little bobble. And then from here, let's do some roll downs and roll ups, one of my favorite abdominal exercise. Not only do we strengthen our center, we also find a little more space in our backs. So make sure you got some room overhead, and we'll throw some full body stretches in when we get down. And let's do 6 of these. So we can start from tall spine or neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. From here we can find C-spine as we tuck tail and chin. We slowly roll ourselves down, exhaling. Inhaling, full body stretch, arms by the ears, not too low, as we point fingers and toes. On the exhale, flexing hands and feet, tucking the chin as we roll ourselves up. When we get to our sit, I'll invite you to stay in C-spine as we reach. Ribs are drawing away from the feet, shoulders are drawing away from the ears as you breathe into your back. Staying in C-spine, flexing hands and feet as we slowly roll ourselves down. Inhaling, full body stretch as we point fingers and toes. Exhaling, tucking the chin, flexing the feet as we roll ourselves up. Inhaling, staying in C-spine as we reach. Exhaling, rolling it down. Inhaling, full body stretch. Exhaling, rolling it up. Inhale, reach. Halfway done. Exhaling, rolling it down. Inhaling, full body stretch. Exhaling, rolling it up. Inhale, reach. 2 more to go. Exhaling, rolling it down. Inhaling, full body stretch. Exhaling, rolling it up. Inhale, reach. 1 more to go here. Exhaling, rolling it down. Inhaling, full body stretch. Exhaling, rolling it up. Inhaling, reach. And then I'll invite you just to drape yourself over those legs for a very loose Paschimottanasana. So the intense back body stretch, but it's not so intense. It's just loose, it's just liquid. Shoulders soft, neck relaxed. You might give your head a little swing, a little sway. You might rock it from sits bone to sits bone. Intuitive movement in our seated forward fold with 2 long legs. From here, let's do 1 more shape before we find our Shavasana. Let's get onto our backs with 1 more roll down. So we start from tall spine, Frankenstein arms. We find C-spine as we slowly roll ourselves down. Full body stretch when we arrive. And then I'll invite you to draw your knees in towards your armpits. Soles of the feet face the sky. We reach up and catch our ankles or the outside edges of the feet for the happy baby pose. In our happy baby, I'll invite you to gently rock it from side to side. Massaging your hips, massaging your low back. Again, just let it feel good as we connect with our feeling body. We've got what's crudely called the meat body. It's our flesh and bones. We've got our energetic body, which is the systems that make it work, circulatory, nervous. And we have that feeling body where we add that element of consciousness, that element of awareness. And then bringing your happy baby back center. Coming back to a focus on your breath, watching as it flows in and as it flows out. And then from here, I'll invite you to find your Shavasana. As you go long through the legs, arms out to the side, giving your inner thighs and armpits lots of room to breathe, scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. doing whatever else feels right and good for you this morning. As we hold Shavasana, tip of the tongue is neutral in your mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through the nose. And that's another yoga breath, is the nose breath. Not only does it have a lot of good filtration in terms of dust and bugs and all that, it also adds an element of awareness to our breath. Those of you at home, feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as you will for the purposes of this pop-up class, 45 minutes. I'm going to ring these bells 3 times. I'll invite you to listen to the striking of the tone, the duration of the sound, its diminution, and then most importantly, the silence thereafter, or at least the ambient sound thereafter, as we start to connect our awareness to everything that's around us. At home, feeling free to stay in your Shavasana. After about 10 minutes, you'll get this a wonderful, beautiful feeling of great relaxation. Us here in the garden, I'll invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes as you invite more prana, more life force into your bodies. Now inviting that life force, that prana in towards center as we gently circle wrists and ankles. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, again, whatever feels right and good to you as we connect with our feeling bodies. Now moving towards Apanasana as we draw one knee at a time in towards your heart, your hands catch your shins. And then gently rocking front to back, massaging your center of balance. Yeah, if you want to add some hip circles, go for it. From front to back, maybe rocking it side to side, just massaging your low back, releasing those hips. And then I'll suggest rolling onto your right side, stretching long through the right arm, and letting that arm serve as a cushion for your head as you have a nice long slow breath here on the floor. I'll invite you to let that breath sigh out through your mouth, softening your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, softening the corners of your eyes. From here, keeping everything relaxed as you push on up to claim a cross-legged sit. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. Without straining the neck, a slight tuck of the chin. As again, we start to bring our attention back inward. I'll invite you to let 5 fingers of one hand find the ground as the palm of the other hand faces the sky. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you at home for practicing with us. Thank you, Kathy, for waking up early to practice with me. And we'll see everybody next time. And we'll have another pop-up tomorrow night, 5:15. Happy hour yoga. Who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, namaste. Have a nice day.